Elevation is a beautiful word. It speaks of growth, advancement, and reaching new heights. But what we often fail to acknowledge is that the climb upward is rarely smooth or effortless. As you ascend in life, whether it's in your career, personal development, or spiritual journey, you will face heavier burdens. And here's the truth: the higher you climb, the heavier the weight. But hear me when I say this: the view from the top is always worth the struggle. You see, when you're on the ground level, your responsibilities are limited. The expectations placed on you are manageable because you haven't yet stepped into all that you're destined to be. But when you decide to go higher, when you dare to dream bigger and walk boldly into your calling, you will feel the weight of those higher steps. Success, leadership, and growth are not free passes to an easier life. They come with responsibilities that test your endurance and stretch your faith. Imagine a mountain climber making their way up a steep slope. At the base, they carry only the essentials. The path is easier and their footing feels stable. But as they ascend, the terrain becomes more rugged, the air thinner, and every step requires greater focus and strength. The climber's backpack feels heavier, not because the load changed, but because the journey demands more effort. Yet they press on because they know the summit holds a reward that outweighs the struggle. In the same way, your journey upward will challenge you. You'll face moments when your shoulders ache from the weight of responsibility. You'll question whether you have the strength to keep climbing. But I need you to remember this: elevation always demands evolution. The burdens that feel heavy now are strengthening you for what's ahead. If you shy away from the weight, you'll miss out on the blessings that come with higher ground. It's on the higher steps that you gain new perspectives, discover hidden strengths, and learn to lean into divine wisdom. The climb might be hard, but it's shaping you into someone who can thrive at the top. Don't let the weight fool you into thinking you're on the wrong path. The very fact that it's heavy means you're going higher. Comfort zones don't build champions, challenges do. And if God is calling you higher, He's also equipping you to carry the weight that comes with it. So the next time you feel the heaviness of your journey, remind yourself that elevation is worth the effort. The summit view will reveal why the struggle was necessary. You'll see how the weight you carried strengthened your spirit, fortified your mind, and prepared you for the blessings waiting at the top. Growth is beautiful. It's a sign that you're moving forward, stepping into purpose and becoming everything God designed you to be. But let's be honest, growth isn't glamorous. It comes with its fair share of growing pains, unexpected challenges, and heavy crosses. The higher you grow, the more it feels like life puts a spotlight on you, making every decision, every move, and every mistake feel magnified. But here's what I need you to know: God never calls you to carry a cross without giving you the strength to bear it. You see, growth naturally attracts opposition. The moment you decide to elevate your mindset, walk in integrity, or pursue a God-given dream, challenges will come. They show up to test whether your foundation is strong enough for the next level. Some will come in the form of doubt, discouragement, or even betrayal by those closest to you. Other times, the challenge will simply be the weight of new responsibilities or the fear of not being enough. But understand this: opposition is not a sign that you're off track. It's often a confirmation that you're stepping into alignment with your purpose. The enemy doesn't attack what isn't a threat. If you weren't carrying something significant, the road would be smooth and easy. Think of Jesus carrying his cross to Calvary. It was heavy, painful, and unimaginably difficult. But that cross was not a symbol of defeat. It was a sign of his divine assignment. In the same way, the crosses you carry today are not evidence of your weakness. They are markers of your calling. Here's the good news: God equips you for every challenge that comes with your growth. He strengthens you in your weakness, gives you wisdom when you're confused, and places people in your life to help lift the burden when it feels overwhelming. You're not meant to carry your cross alone. That's why He's promised to be your refuge, your guide, Don't run from the weight of growth. Don't shrink back because it's hard. Instead, lean into God's grace. His word says that his strength is made perfect in weakness, 2 Corinthians 12:9. That means when you feel like you can't take another step, God steps in and carries what you cannot. The crosses you carry are shaping you for greatness. They're teaching you resilience, deepening your faith, and molding you into a vessel God can use for his glory. Remember, every great calling comes with a cross. But the beauty of it is this: the cross isn't the end. It's a pathway to resurrection, breakthrough, and victory. So the next time you feel overwhelmed by the weight of your growth, remember that you've been chosen for this. God doesn't make mistakes. If he called you, he's already equipped you. Keep carrying your cross, knowing that your strength is being renewed day by day. The weight may be heavy, but the glory on the other side is incomparable. One of the most deceptive lies we can believe is that opposition means we're going the wrong way. When challenges arise, when life feels like a constant battle, it's easy to second guess ourselves, to question the path we're on, or to wonder if we've misunderstood our purpose. But let me tell you something that will shift your perspective. Opposition is not evidence of failure. It's often confirmation that you're exactly where you're supposed to be. When you step into your calling, when you make the decision to walk boldly toward your purpose, resistance will come. It's not because you're doing something wrong, it's because you're doing something right. The enemy doesn't waste time on what isn't a threat. The fact that you're facing opposition means that your steps are shaking something in the atmosphere, disrupting complacency, and advancing you towards something meaningful. Think about it. When Jesus set his face toward Jerusalem, he knew what was coming. He knew opposition, betrayal, and the cross were waiting for him. But he didn't turn back. He didn't let the challenges ahead convince him he was heading in the wrong direction. Instead, he walked with intention, knowing that the opposition was part of the journey to fulfilling his destiny. In the same way, the resistance you're feeling is not a detour, it's part of the process. When the doors seem harder to open, when people around you start to doubt or criticize your steps, and when fear whispers that you're not enough, it's not a sign to stop, it's a sign to press on. The very fact that it's hard means that something worthwhile is on the other side. But let me be real with you. Opposition is uncomfortable. It can feel like carrying a weight you weren't prepared for, navigating storms you didn't see coming, or battling doubts you thought you'd overcome. But hear me when I say this. The opposition is not stronger than the God who called you. He's already equipped you to face it. Every obstacle is an opportunity for God to show his power, and every battle is an invitation for your faith to grow. Sometimes the opposition isn't external, it's internal. It's the voice in your mind that says, turn around, this is too much. But that's where discernment comes in. You have to remind yourself that discomfort doesn't mean disqualification. Growth doesn't come in comfort zones, and breakthroughs don't happen without some resistance. So don't let opposition make you question your direction. Let it be your motivation to keep moving forward. The enemy doesn't attack what isn't advancing. The tension you're feeling is proof that you're breaking through barriers and stepping into your next level. Trust that God wouldn't call you if he hadn't prepared you. If you're facing resistance, take it as confirmation that you're walking in purpose. Keep going, keep believing, and keep trusting. What's waiting on the other side of this opposition will make every step worth it. Stay the course. The victory is already yours. Life has a way of testing us when we least expect it. One moment, everything feels smooth and manageable, and the next, the weight of responsibility, uncertainty, or personal struggles begins to press down on you. Your steps feel heavy, and every move forward takes more effort than it should. But here's the truth I want you to hold on to. Strength is built in the stretch. Think about the process of building physical strength. When you go to the gym, lifting weights doesn't get easier just because you're showing up. The goal isn't to stay comfortable, it's to stretch your muscles to their limit. Even to the point of fatigue. That stretch, that tension is what builds resilience and strength. Without it, there's no growth. But the same principle applies to your spiritual, emotional, and personal growth. When your steps feel heavy, it's not a sign to stop. It's a signal that you're in a stretching season, one that is preparing you for greater capacity, deeper wisdom, and stronger endurance. Growth is always uncomfortable because it pushes you beyond what you thought you were capable of. You may be in a place right now where you're wondering why things are so difficult. You might be asking, why is this job so demanding? Why is this relationship testing my patience? Why does this dream feel so far out of reach? But can I remind you that God doesn't waste seasons? If he's allowing you to walk through a heavy season, it's because he's strengthening you in ways you can't yet see. The stretch is where transformation happens. It's in those moments when you feel like giving up but choose to press on anyway that your faith is fortified. It's when you push through the doubt, fear, and fatigue that you become someone who can carry more without breaking. Remember the story of David. Before he ever faced Goliath, he had to fight lions and bears in the wilderness. Those battles weren't just random challenges. They were stretching seasons, preparing him for the moment he would step onto the battlefield and defeat a giant. Without the stretch, David wouldn't have had the strength or confidence to fulfill his calling. So when your steps feel heavy, shift your perspective. Instead of asking, why is this happening to me? Start asking, what is this teaching me? How is this strengthening me? Trust that every difficult step is building something within you that will be necessary for the path ahead. You are being stretched not to break, but to build. And when this season passes, and it will, you'll look back and realize that the heaviness you carried was actually shaping you into someone stronger, wiser, and more capable than ever before. Keep stepping even when it's heavy. Keep stretching even when it hurts. Your strength is being built right here in the tension, in the stretch. And when you emerge from this season, you'll be ready to carry the blessings and opportunities that are waiting for you.